Sri Lankan, this is a very proud moment. We were able to conduct a very peaceful and calm elections after a long decades. We know that we have witnessed in Sri Lanka, we have experienced that some of elections conducted under very serious critical situations. But when observing this election, we understood that there were very low election violations and no election violations took place. But we have received some of election law violations. It is there were 161 election law violations have been reported, but comparing with the past elections as CMEV, we should say this comparatively this is a very calm and peaceful elections we had in these decades. Therefore, this may be exemplary elections. Especially, this is the first election conducted in South Asian region after hit by COVID-19. Therefore, we believe that Election Commission and Sri Lanka Police were taken positive steps to conduct such a peaceful and calm elections. Due to this, actually, we witnessed that. Therefore, though the election day proceedings are peaceful and calm, we have witnessed that the pre-election campaign is there were some unresolved pending issues like using religious places and also media behavior and also the social media activism, that some of social media admins have posted hundreds and thousands of posts, but Election Commission were unable to report it properly to Facebook were unable to remove such post. Then if we are thinking in future, if we are going to conduct elections without removing such post and without having a proper mechanism to eradicate such social media behavior, we will not be able to have free and fair elections. Yeah. Up to now we have received 161 election law violations, but we believe that none of these incidents not affected to the overall election results. All those reported incidents are election law violations and no election violations. Due to that, we believe that all these incidents have not been able to affect the election results.
We have half an hour to go before the polls close today on the day of the general election, and so far there have been some incidents of violence and malpractice, but not of a great nature, and certainly none that would appear on the face of it to affect the result. However, I'd like to make a few general comments on the course of the campaign, in particular the use of social media and the fact that, even in the 2 days in which there was to be no campaigning, social media was full of campaign literature, etc., which I think is, something that the Election Commission and the relevant authorities must actually look at. The other point, of course, that CMEV has been focusing on is the question of campaign finance. I mean, it's extremely important to stress that no election ought to be bought. No election ought to be won by those with the largest number of resources. And as our investigations have concluded, the estimations of results indicate millions of rupees are spent by each candidate and by each party as far as the election is concerned. And we really need to investigate this, perhaps come up with a law that regulates the amount that can be spent. Apart from that, of course, the concerns have been with the turnout. And as we know so far, the turnout is roughly between 55 to 65%. This is relatively low in terms of general election statistics in Sri Lanka, but most people, I think, assumed that it would be a low turnout on account of the COVID virus. But what I want to emphasize though is that I think if as much or more for the reason for a low turnout is the general disillusionment of the voting public with the political parties and the available choices before them. Practically everyone that one speaks to is confused as to whether they could vote for certain individuals drawn from a variety of parties, or whether they can vote just for one party and leave it at that, or if they can just go and spoil their ballot. So I think that is an indictment, in a sense, on the nature of our democracy, and I think all politicians and aspiring politicians need to look at it and need to understand that the public at large expects certain standards, and the upkeeping of those standards is tremendously important.
Dr. You mentioned about social media campaigning, and you said that there are shortcomings on the EC that you some monitoring. So are you suggesting
Suggesting any?
have any suggestions to overcome such shortcomings?
Well, no, I don't have an off-the-cuff kind of suggestion in terms of what can be done, but I think that one needs to have that discussion in terms of what could be done in the future, because you're having a whole lot of material on social media which flies in the face of all existing campaign laws and all of that. So if we are going to have a proper campaign, a properly regulated campaign, etc., social media has to be part of it.
So another debate about fake news on social media that we also continue.
Well, as far as hate news and hate speech is concerned, there is no need, in my opinion, for a new law. We have enough laws to deal with hate speech. We have the ICCPR law in this country, which you can indict someone for hate speech and they can go to jail. It's the question, I think, with regard to hate speech is the political commitment to actually take someone to court and see that case through.